let's get into the big topic of open source, something that we actually say at Red Hat.
This is so awesome.
We are an open culture that believes
it's actually
in
a big piece
What is that process that a developer, or let's say
as the Kubernetes ecosystem really boomed?
Hi, and welcome to another episode of In the Clouds. I am your host, Stu Miniman, and super excited to have a special edition here. Going to be giving a little bit of preview for Red Hat Summit and Ansible Fest 2025. I went deep into the closet, pull out an old shirt that I got at Red Hat Summit in 2017. It was actually May the 4th. Of course, today we turned the calendar over to May 1st. This weekend is May the 4th. So early want to wish everyone a happy Star Wars Day to those that are celebrating. Everyone that knows me knows I am a little bit of a Star Wars geek. I've got plenty of stuff around my office to always show it. At that conference, they actually started out the opening keynote with some Jedis on stage. And I said, hey, that's pretty awesome. I'd worked with Red Hat for a long time. And if they could start out with Jedi, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, heck, I even have my own lightsaber that I can pull out every once in a while. But here we are in 2025 it will be back in Boston, which was the same place we were in 2017 for that. I'm super excited for it. I've got a lot of activity going on, be meeting with a lot of customers. I'm sitting on a panel for our cloud services. Yes, the show is still in the clouds, and cloud does still matter quite a bit, even though AI and virtualization takes a lot of the attention these days. Super excited to actually have a longtime friend of mine actually lives just a stone's throw away from where I am here in Metro West, Massachusetts. So Simon Seagrave, thank you so much for joining. Welcome to In the Clouds. Simon is a part of our product marketing team on the OpenShift team, actually leads our virtualization activity. Simon and I met back through the VMware community a long, long time ago. Simon, thanks for joining. How you doing?
Fantastic. Hi, Stu. Hi, everyone. Great to be here. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk about Red Hat Summit. Yeah, Stu, like you say, gosh, we've been friends for, well over almost like 2 decades now, coming up for a while. So yeah, we've been to many of these conferences together before, and I just wanted to compliment you on your T-shirt there. I've obviously seen all your background there before.
Simon, hopefully the brand police, it has Shadow Man on it. It's so old, so we'll hide it for the rest of the episode.
I think that's great. Well, in honor of that, I do offer up my my lightsaber offering and a R2D2 there we go, just to compliment your backdrop there.
It's good. I didn't want to have to call out that you're more of a Trekkie than you are a Star Wars guy, but you like open source. You're happy, working with lots of different technologies and everything like that. I'd attended Red Hat Summit a handful of times before I joined Red Hat. Simon, I can't believe this will actually be the 5th summit since I've been a Hatter, and I think it's got to be the 4th or 5th for you, and you'll also be there in person. So why don't you give us a little bit, Simon, kick us off. Red Hat Summit, Community Day is probably where we want to start, because that is, if it was KubeCon, we'd call it a day 0, but the Community Day is a phenomenal event. OpenShift Commons is part of it. Tell us, why you're excited about that.
Yeah, very much so, Stu. I mean, the whole event's fantastic, right? But for me, Community Day is particularly special, right? This is really about, as the name suggests, the coming together of the various communities based around the various solutions and product sets here at Red Hat. We've obviously got, for the Community Day, the likes of, the Red Hat Linux. We've got an AI community stream there. We have Ansible, of course, with their Ansible Fest. And not forgetting, true to my, very dear to my heart, OpenShift Commons as well. So yeah, I mean, I get a lot out of these Community Day events, particularly. It's a great opportunity for me to connect with the community, to hear what's important to them, what they're seeing out there in the real world. As a product marketing manager, that's very important that we keep in tune with the real world out there, with our customers, what they're experiencing, what their pain points, challenges are, because that helps us be better at our jobs as product marketers around that. So super excited. Look forward to connecting with everyone here in Boston in just a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, and one of the things that we always love about the Community Day, we'll have a lot of the the community members themselves sharing. So up on the main stage, of course, we'll have some of our key executives who are there, but we're going to have customers throughout the entire session. So community day, expect to see some great customers up on the main stage and keynotes. Can't give any of the secrets away, but I know you and I are both super excited for some of the customers that we will have on that main stage. And throughout the entire conference, there's just customer after customer. Red Hat is really good. It's one of the things that drew me to the company is the customers participate in the community, and we give them opportunities to share what they're doing, because little secret, nobody really needs us to tell them about the products. It's they want to hear from their peers, what's working, what are the challenges, how do they overcome things, and how are they excited about what they're using. So Simon, maybe in your space for virtualization, there's been a lot of activity in the last year. And I know we've got a lot of customers sharing where they are on their journey for virtualization at Summit itself. So I know it's something that you and the team have been spending a lot of time on. So give us a little bit of insight on it.
Yeah, definitely, Stu. I mean, just touching on one thing that you mentioned there before we sort of dig into the Vert piece there, was one thing that's always impressed me here at Red Hat and our customers is the passion from the customers. I've never seen anything like it in any of my previous roles before. The dedication to the products and the community, particularly around these products, definitely helps. And and to your point, we definitely don't have a shortage of customers that want to come and tell their stories to others, share their experiences, and their learnings along the way as well. So that's something that's my 4 years here at Red Hat that I've always been particularly impressed with. Going into the world of virtualization, right? It's been a very busy 18 or so months. Obviously, there's been some events happen within the industry there that's really had customers look at their existing traditional virtualization platforms that they've been on for many, many years. And, they've gone out to market again to look at what other options there are out there. OpenShift virtualization is obviously a key contender in the enterprise virtualization space. We've got a very robust offering with OpenShift virtualization, which is the virtualization capability that is available in OpenShift across all editions. We're very excited. Actually, early January, we had a significant announcement because, again, listening to our customers, taking that feedback on board, we did actually announce a dedicated virtualization-only edition of OpenShift. So there's been a lot of interest around that. And actually, at Summit, we expect to have a lot of conversations with customers around that potential, that specific offering. Which is the virtualization only on OpenShift, but it has that non-disruptive upgrade path if and when in the future they do want to start to embrace containerization, cloud-native technologies, and what have you. We have a lot of customers we're currently working with as our support or our professional services team are working with to help them migrate off their traditional platform at the moment onto OpenShift Virt. So much activity, and it's running at such a crazy pace as well. The other thing that I'd be remiss not to talk about our partners as well. That's the other thing since the last Summit. Just the the outreach and uptake we've had from our already broad and extensive partner ecosystem has been significant. We're working with all the key players out there in all the various partner verticals, whether that's storage, backup, DR, networking, and the like. We've got a lot of those great partners that have either onboarded since the last Summit or have been with us for some time around OpenShift virtualization. They're going to be here. They've got sessions at Summit, and lots of great information to share with the folks that will be attending.
Yeah, so Simon, one of the challenges always at a conference like this is there are so many sessions to go to that you might want to go see. So, of course, the main stage is where you'll see some of the announcements from product standpoint. We know AI will be a big theme. Virtualization will get a lot of attention. We talked about there'll be customers. In your area for virtualization, I know I went through, and we've got more than a dozen customers that are doing sessions. And as you pointed out, the partner ecosystem has come in full force. So compute, networking, data protection and backup, and the like are going to have breakout sessions. You've been helping to promote some of them. Any sessions or key themes that you want to point out when it comes to Virt in the catalog itself?
Yeah, definitely. The one other, the other events that we have happening at Summit are the labs. As a techie or technologist at heart as well, I always particularly like the labs as well when I go to a conference. Fantastic opportunity to get in there, get hands-on time with the support of product experts around you as you sort of, kick the tires on these various products as well. So as you'd expect, we've got a fantastic lineup around virtualization. We've got some really great labs there, both with ourselves, but also with our partners as well. And I know, there's some really, really exceptional labs around AI there as well. We've got some great security labs. We've got some really good DevOps labs as well that attendees can jump in and try these products out for themselves whilst they're there. But yeah, going back to sessions, as you mentioned, Stu, we've definitely had a really strong lineup this year around OpenShift and OpenShift virtualization from customers there. The catalog is live at the moment, so definitely jump into that. If you go to the Red Hat Summit page, have a look through, you'll see a number of the customers that will be talking about their journey. We've got quite a broad array of customers who are presenting. Some of them are very early on in their journey and migrating off their traditional platform. And again, many of these customers have been on that platform for many, many years, most of them well over a decade, and they're migrating off for the first time. So we've got customers right at the beginning of their migration journey that have been working with our services team in many instances. But we have those that are pretty much migrated off now. And again, any of you out there, like myself as an ex-virtualization administrator will know, doing a migration of thousands, if not tens of thousands of VMs is not a small task, and is definitely a multi-month, if not multi-year journey. But we've got some great customers who will be speaking and sharing a lot of their lessons learned, the challenges along the way. What are some of the best practices that they want to share with others that will be attending that are either already on that migration journey or are thinking about taking the first steps.
Yeah, I'm so glad, Simon, you pointed out some of the labs there. Just pro tip, we just put in the chat, where to register for the conference. Some of the most popular labs, which 2 of the 3 most popular labs are specifically about virtualization, migration, modernization. The other one to call out is there's an OpenShift Platform Plus lab that's really excellent. Our producer for the show today, Michael Foster, is one of the co-creators of that lab. Those 3 labs that I just mentioned, they filled up and they've added an additional slot. So if you looked a week or so ago and you said, ugh, I couldn't get into that lab, take a look again. There's a second time usually offered on that. The most popular labs do tend to get repeated. So go into the schedule, make sure you've checked that out, and do take the time to do hands-on. That absolutely, Simon, is one of the things that we hear from the attendees is one of the most valuable things that they get out of it, because you get hands-on and you've got the experts right there to help walk you through any bumps that you encounter along the way. So many things going on. How about you, Simon? Are you doing any of the presentations yourself, or other things that you've got going on that you want to share about Summit?
Yeah, definitely. So I've got 2 sessions happening. I will be presenting with one of our virtualization customers, our friends and customers at Emirates MBD. I will be presenting with them during the week in a breakout session. So if you're attending, please come along and say hi, ask your questions as well. So Emirates have been a fantastic customer, and they are towards the end of their migration journey. So Nick, who I'll be presenting with, I've seen him present before, absolutely fantastic. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he definitely likes to share his knowledge around the journey that they've been on as well. The second session, I've got something in the developer zone as well. That's I'm co-presenting with one of our one of the team from Ansible. It's talking about virtualization and Ansible, about the automation. If you're not familiar with Ansible, check it out. It's one of the products since I started with Red Hat. It's been particularly impressive to me, particularly again as an ex-virtualization admin. Anything that you can automate definitely helps. And as you migrate, automating that process definitely helps with or reduces the risk of human error, but also around data operations as well. So I've got the pleasure of presenting with them in one session there as well. If you are attending, one other thing to mention, we do have a OpenShift virtualization social gathering as well. So be on the lookout on LinkedIn and the normal social avenues out there for information on that. So if you are attending, be on the lookout, come along, say hi. Again, we'll have a lot of our virtualization product experts, people like Andrew Sullivan will be in attendance there as well. So yeah, I'm particularly excited around that. Again, Commons, very excited. For those of you that have attended a OpenShift Commons in the past, one thing that we should point out, the format's a little bit different here because we do have that community day happening. If you are attending there's going to be 30 minutes breaks between sessions where folks can go out into the hall there, and there will be people with t-shirts walking up and down, indicating what they are product experts in from our various product teams within Red Hat. It's a great opportunity to just mingle, connect, talk to them, and ask any of those awkward questions perhaps you can't get answers to, or what have you. So again, all round, I'm super excited, Stu, and it's, virtualization is part of it, right? But AI, we've got automation, the whole Linux angle as well. So yeah, I'm excited about the whole event.
Yeah, and of course, if you have any questions on the social gathering, any of the technology, a great place to do is also to stop by the booth. So there's a whole area where OpenShift will be heavily represented, and you'll find Simon, me, and many others from the team there that can point you to the resources that you had. Awesome. So Simon, so much, it goes without saying that usually every company says that, their own conference is, the most important week of the year. Going to be meeting with thousands of our customers, lots of our partners, and the like. I want to dig in a little bit deeper on your subject area of virtualization. So you mentioned with Emirates, they're getting towards the end of their journey. And one of the biggest things I get a lot of questions on is, what does this actually look like? This is not, something that is new. People have been running virtualization for, a decade, 2 decades. And if they're going to migrate off of it, it is not necessarily a cookie cutter approach, one size fits all. But now that we're, a ways into it, Simon, we've seen a lot of customers that have gone on this journey, have either completed or a good portion way through their journey. What are some of the lessons learned? What does typical look like from what you've seen?
Yeah, really good question, Stu. And I think you hit the nail on the head there. That there is no typical per se, because everyone's, for the most part, generalization, but most organizations of all sizes are running some aspect of virtualization within their IT environments as of today, and have probably likely been doing so, as I mentioned earlier, for multiple years, if not for the last decade or two around that. So, they're going to have applications that have been running for the past, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years. They're going to have newer applications out there that have been virtualized, maybe containerized. It's going to be a complete mixed bag. Also, some customers as well, they've already ventured out and they've got a hybrid cloud strategy or multi-cloud approach to running their virtualized workloads. Some, however, maybe are just running on premises only at this point as well. So there is definitely no one size fits all. And the other thing is, this isn't the type of thing, if you are looking at migrating and moving off your existing traditional platform that you've been running on for many years, that's not the type of thing, the migration part that is, that you've done before or that you do on a semi-regular basis, right? So there's a lot of planning, and I think a lot of organizations perhaps can sometimes perhaps underestimate the amount of planning that is required around the migration process of moving off their platform. Now, the good news is, a lot of organizations, they had that skill set in-house. What we have seen, again, in the past 12, 18 months, because of some of the goings-ons within the virtualization space, our professional services team has been particularly busy working with these customers, building out a very comprehensive but low-risk migration plan to move them off their existing platform onto OpenShift and OpenShift virtualization. So I know they've been particularly busy, and there's been a lot of lessons learned there. There are a lot of common gotchas that I know that they've come up against time and time again. But I would say, yeah, definitely don't underestimate the amount of planning you have to put into it. That shouldn't put you off from doing it, right? Because the benefits from doing so are definitely, big, but yeah, definitely don't underestimate what's involved.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just Simon, one of the top items that comes up a lot, and I know you've got great insight into this, is people are worried. I've got VMware admins, and therefore going to something else, people are like, ugh, it's scary. They can't learn it. It's, totally different. It's, do I have to fire people? We've got plenty of former VMware people, in the company, lots of great people in the community. And we've seen lots of customers that have overcome this. So you talked about sometimes there's the gotchas, the hiccup. What's the human side of this, and people's jobs and the skill sets that they have?
Yeah. One thing we see, I mean, both you and I, Stu, right? We do a lot of executive briefings here in Boston, and so we get to speak to a lot of customers, a lot of the virtualization admins that are out in the market, looking at seeing what the alternatives are. And there are some common themes that come up time and time again. And again, if I put my ex virtualization administrator's hat on, I was a virtualization admin for over a decade. I totally they totally resonate, these concerns, with myself if I was in their shoes. One is about the fear, the uncertainty, moving onto a new platform. Yeah, definitely. One thing we've done on the OpenShift side, whether you're moving to OpenShift virtualization or OpenShift for your virtual workloads, or you're moving to one of the other enterprise level offerings out in the space there, it is going to be a period of disruption, whoever you move to, right? There's going to have to be an element of learning the new product, the new management interface, ways of doing things again. And OpenShift is no exception, right? There's, we have a lot of commonalities with what a traditional VM admin would be used to. But what we have done, we've put in place a number of steps to help ease that transition onto OpenShift for those traditional VMware or virtualization admins. One is, so for example, is we introduced, it was towards the end of, middle of last year, actually, we introduced a virtualization admin only view into the OpenShift console. Right. As we know, OpenShift is traditionally Kubernetes based, right? Unashamedly Kubernetes based. It's YAML, it's everything like that. And as a virtualization admin, that's not the world you live in. You live more in the GUI. It's more ClickOps in nature, maybe a bit of PowerShell in there. So what we do is, by providing that dedicated virtualization admin view, is we abstract that from the administrator. We, the layout, the presentation, even down to the words and language that we use in this administrative view, very much lends itself to making the traditional virtualization admin feel more comfortable with the tasks that they will perform, around day two operations and what have you. Something else we've introduced as well, and a little teaser, watch out at Summit for this, but AI, right? We have got, it's in tech preview at the moment, OpenShift Lightspeed. That is a virtual assistant that sits in that management interface. And at any point in time, the administrator, whether they're new to the platform, whether they're experienced, it doesn't matter. They can jump in there, and using natural language, they can ask any questions about, how do I perform this, or I'm seeing this. And then what it does, our AI team here at Red Hat, we've been working very closely with, they have trained, as part of the broader LLM set for OpenShift Lightspeed, information based on our best practices, our knowledge base articles, our service tickets that we've seen come in. And then what it will do, it'll provide those administrators with step-by-step instructions on how to perform a task, along with things like links out to any supporting white papers and the such as well. So, there's just a couple of examples of things that we're doing to help that transition for a virtualization admin to move onto the platform. And the other thing is OpenShift, it's a platform for container-based workloads and for virtual machines as well. So there's space for both those teams on a single platform with a single unified management interface, whether it's on premises or even out in the public cloud. It's the same experience.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up the Lightspeed activity there, which, as you said, not just for what we've done in containers for a while, but the virtualization piece. So that should absolutely help accelerate adoption and comfort with the platform there. All right, Simon, we've covered a lot of ground. I think we're about ready to dive into our questions from a Red Hat. All right, Simon, we just talked about AI. Like to get my favorite question this year has really been, how does AI fit into, all of your daily life?
Yeah, I love AI. I like any new technology, right? When it comes along, it was the same back at when blockchain came out with crypto. I was mining crypto back in 2013. So obviously with AI having its coming to the forefront with Gen AI, particularly for the past 18 months, 2 years, has been very very exciting with me. So AI, yeah, I mean it touches pretty much all aspects of our lives these days. Everything from on our mobile phone, if you've got an Apple or a Google Android device, right through to just performing day-to-day tasks. Yeah, I like it. For me, I like it around its organizational ability, around sort of organizing my day. Also, as a product marketing manager, we spend a lot of time crafting words, crafting documents, writing a lot of copy. So sometimes it's nice to get a sort of a pair of eyes on there just to sanity check it, just from a grammar and a spelling perspective. But I can see it becoming increasingly more interwoven into our day-to-day lives. Again, whether you're a product manager, whether you work in the human resources department, it's going to touch all aspects or elements of what we do on a daily basis.
Yeah. Simon, has it impacted you as a parent yet?
It's funny, it has actually. So yeah, probably too much information, but my son, who's 11, we don't give him full reign access to the internet at all, because obviously we want to be sensitive. I've got firewalls, everything in place here and what have you. But he's got to the age now where he wants to look up things. He's really into 3D printing, for example. And what he's found is if he goes in, although we block Google, he will use autopilot. No, autopilot,
Copilot.
sorry, got that wrong. Yeah, thanks, Stu. He will go into the AI and ask questions in there and it will come back. Obviously sanitized questions, and yeah, he's sorry, Copilot. Yeah, so he's using that massively at the moment.
Yeah, I always wonder about that, Simon. My kids were told, don't trust what you read on Wikipedia or the internet and things like that. And now with hallucinations and some of the other stuff in the AI, you always wonder, that base of understanding.
We've still got a way to go for sure. Yeah.
All right. So Simon, of all the people I know, you were such a tech enthusiast. You mentioned 3D printing. You play with virtual reality and drones. So outside of work, what's your favorite tech these days?
Yeah, my favorite tech. I mean, you touched on one of those there. I'm really enjoying AI at the moment. I'm running my own local LLMs here at home with Meta's open source offerings. Obviously, we have our own here at Red Hat as well. So I'm running those in my home lab at the moment, just for my own education and what have you. Outside of tech, as I mentioned, my son's really into 3D printing at the moment. I've been 3D printing for a decade now. He is currently trying to build a life-size armor, suit of armor of Iron Man armor. So I've been pulled into that as well. So our 3D printer at home here is pretty much running 24/7 at the moment, just printing legs, arms, and goodness knows what that he wants to wear at the next large cosplay conference. So yeah, that's probably the two areas. I still fly drones as well. I do that. I haven't done it competitively for a little while, but I still like to get out there, fly a drone. Bit of escapism at the end of the day sometimes. So I really enjoy that.
Awesome. All right. Simon, final question from Red Hat in honor of Star Wars Day this weekend. What Star Wars character do you think would embody the spirit of open source the most?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. So going back, actually, Stu, I'm actually a Star Wars person, less than a Trekkie, actually. I love Star Trek, don't get me wrong, I love Star Trek, but I'm a Star Wars guy. One of my earliest memories as a kid, and I'm aging myself here, was when Star Wars came out. It was for one of my little friend's 6th birthday. His parents took all his friends, including myself, I was one of his friends, to the movies to see Star Wars when it first came out back in 77, I think it was. I was 6 years old. That's one of my earliest childhood memories, and it's been with me ever since. Embodying open source, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely got to be the Jedi way, right? Things Jedi. It's about being open and accepting. Less so of I guess closed source with if you're talking Sith and what have you. But an actual character per se, I don't know. I want to gravitate to Obi-Wan or Yoda. That's sort of spring to mind there. But yeah, good question. But I would definitely say things Jedi.
Absolutely, Simon.
stuff.
It's funny. I put it into Copilot, and it actually it said the Jedi, Yoda especially would be the top end, but it said R2D2. You could make a really good case for R2D2. He participates in a lot of things. He's sharing all the information. Sometimes a little bit hard to understand, but
Probably like CP3O in that case. Yeah.
You and I have debates as to the droids a little bit sometimes. But Simon, thank you for going through the questions of the Red Hat. I always like to have a little bit of fun with that. All right, want to give you the final word. We've put up the links in there. Community Day, Red Hat Summit. Check it out. Final takeaways you want people as they're heading towards our big event in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Stu, thanks. And thanks to everyone out there. Hey, if you're attending Red Hat Summit, please look me up, hit me up on social. Would like to connect with you. We'll catch up whilst we're at the event. Definitely take the opportunity if you're attending to fully leverage Community Day in particular. OpenShift Commons, obviously that's the area that I work in. I know we've got, as Stu mentioned, some great content, some great speakers lined up there. But just, enjoy Summit, get out there, immerse yourself in it. Meet new people, make new friends, make new contacts, learn new things from stories, attend the labs. There's so many good aspects or elements to it that you can't go wrong, really. But again, if you're attending, I would love to meet you. Please reach out. And Stu, I know you'll be going, and I look forward to connecting with you there as well. And just get there, have fun, learn lots, and just enjoy the experience.
All right. It's May 19th through 22nd at the Boston Convention Center, red.ht/summit. You can get all the details. Still available to sign up if you were interested. And absolutely, as Simon said, it is such an opportunity for us to get feedback from you. So there are product enhancements, different areas that we should be digging into. It's such a big open source community out there that we're always appreciative for the contribution and the feedback that we get from everyone on there. So definitely look for us at the conference. Let us know, particularly if you have any topics or guests that you'd like me to cover throughout the rest of the year here on In the Clouds. I would appreciate it. And until next time, thank you for joining us on your journey in the clouds.